Good evening. This is Akashvani and I'm Anuja Kumar with the news at 9. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to participate in G7 summit at Kananaskis in Canada tonight to discuss energy security, technology and global challenges. G7 leaders reiterate their commitment to peace and stability in West Asia, insist Iran must not get nuclear weapon. Israeli military claims of eliminating Iran's wartime chief of staff, Ali Shadmani. Iran also launches a new wave of missiles on Israel. IMD forecasts heavy rainfall with thunderstorm over West Bengal, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Assam and Meghalaya for next 3 to 4 days. And Indian cricketer Smriti Mandhana reclaims top spot in ICC Women's ODI batting rankings. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will participate in the G7 summit at Kananaskis in Canada tonight. He will be participating in G7 discussions on the future of energy security, technology, infrastructure and investment to ensure access and affordability in a changing world. This would be the Prime Minister's 6th consecutive participation in the G7 summit. Mr. Modi will exchange views with leaders of G7 countries, other invited outreach countries, and heads of international organizations on crucial global issues. He will also hold several bilateral meetings at the sidelines of the summit, including with Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney. A report from our correspondent.
G7 meeting is taking place at a time when many countries around the world are engaged in confrontation. A fierce conflict is going on between Iran and Israel, while Russia and Ukraine are also striking each other. After the terrorist attack in Pahalgam and the Operation Sindoor, this visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi assumes significance. During the G7 meeting, Prime Minister Modi will discuss many important issues with global leaders. Bilateral meeting with his Canadian counterpart will be the major focus of this visit. Trade with Canada stood at $8.6 billion in goods and $14.3 billion in services. There is an immense scope for enhancing cooperation between the two countries in areas like education, space, climate change and Arctic research. With Bhupender Singh, Pallavi Parmar, Akashvani News, Delhi.
On the third leg of his visit, Prime Minister Modi will reach Croatia tomorrow. Prime Minister Modi will hold bilateral discussions with Croatian Prime Minister Andrej Plenković and meet the President Zoran Milanović. Talking exclusively to Akashvani News in Zagreb, Indian Ambassador to Croatia Arun Goyal said Mr. Modi's visit to Croatia will also underscore India's commitment to further strengthening its engagement with partners in the European Union.
Visit by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi is a huge thing because it's putting Croatia on the global map. So this is the first visit to Balkans that now India is focusing on Balkans in its foreign policy. So the whole region gets a big boost. With this visit, the bonding which is likely to develop between the two prime ministers and resultantly amongst the people of two countries. So this is going to put our relations in all spheres on a different trajectory, the fruits of which will be visible in the decades to come.
Ambassador Goyal said the visit marks a new era of cooperation across key sectors with 4 vital agreements to be signed to catalyze collaboration in science and technology, agriculture, culture and education.
On the bilateral side, we are having 4 agreements being signed in this trip. The first and foremost is on the program of cooperation in science and technologies. Here, it will lead to identification of areas of cooperation, facilitating environment for those areas, creating, envisaging different activities, projects, programs under this, and then leading to exchange of scientific materials, information, and personnel. Secondly, the agreement on agriculture and allied activities, as many as 30 fields have been identified where the cooperation will lead to joint efforts, joint projects, exchange of information, materials and personnel. And then we are going to have cultural exchange program for 5 years till 2030.
The full interview will be broadcast on 100.1 Akashvani FM Gold channel and other frequencies at 9:15 p.m. today. Our correspondent reports that the Indian diaspora, as well as the Croatian Friends of India in Zagreb, are awaiting with hearts full of pride and hope for stronger ties.
In Zagreb, the Indian tricolor flies not only at the embassy, but in the hearts of over 17,000 Indians who call Croatia home. They are entrepreneurs, IT professionals, restaurant owners, students, and skilled and non-skilled workers. With Prime Minister Modi's visit, the diaspora sees this moment as both symbolic and strategic. It is a recognition of their contributions and growing goodwill. They see first ever visit by an Indian Prime Minister to Croatia as the opportunity to strengthen bilateral relations as well as to boost people-to-people ties. Sanjeev Singh for Akashvani News from Zagreb, Croatia.
Amid rising tensions in West Asia, G7 leaders issued a unified statement addressing the situation between Israel and Iran. They have reiterated their commitment to peace and stability in the Middle East, affirming Israel's right to defend itself and underlining their continued support for the country's security. Emphasizing the importance of protecting civilians amid ongoing regional tensions, the grouping also identified Iran as the principal source of instability and terror in the region. The leaders reiterated that Iran must never be allowed to acquire a nuclear weapon. Iran accused the G7 nations of siding with Israel. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ismail Baghai criticized the G7 joint statement on the Israel-Iran conflict, saying it revealingly disregarded Israel's blatant aggression, unlawful attacks on nuclear sites, and the killing of Iranian civilians. Iran and Israel are exchanging strikes for the fifth day, with civilians in flashpoint areas facing waves of attacks. Israel's military said it conducted several extensive strikes on military targets in western Iran. Israel's military claimed that it had eliminated Ali Shadmani, Iran's wartime chief of staff, and a close aide to Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei in an overnight strike. Explosions were heard in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem as the Israeli military said Iran had launched a new wave of missiles. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has claimed its missile strikes in Israel hit a military intelligence center and a Mossad operations planning center. More from our West Asia correspondent.
The attacks occurred as part of Iran's Operation True Promise 3, described by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps as delivering precise and painful blows in retaliation for Israeli strikes in Iranian cities and infrastructure. The Revolutionary Guards announced that the ninth wave of combined drone and missile attacks has begun and will continue without interruption until dawn, declaring all cities and facilities in Israel as valid military targets. Israeli airstrikes continue to target multiple locations across Iran, with a particular focus on nuclear and military infrastructure in and around Tehran. The Israeli military has claimed to be on the verge of destroying at least 10 additional nuclear targets within the Iranian capital, emphasizing the Fordo uranium enrichment facility as a key objective. Vinod Kumar, Akashvani News, Dubai.
U.S. President Donald Trump and Israeli authorities have urged Tehran residents to evacuate, citing imminent threats of large-scale attacks. This is Akashvani giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our X handle at AIR News Alerts. And for details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and download the News on AIR app. The India Meteorological Department has forecast very heavy to extremely heavy rainfall accompanied by thunderstorm, lightning and gusty winds over West Bengal, Sikkim, Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Goa, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Assam, Nagaland and Meghalaya for the next 3 to 4 days. Meanwhile, rain lashed Delhi NCR this afternoon, bringing the much-needed respite from the scorching summer heat. The Weather Department has issued a yellow alert for moderate rainfall and thunderstorms across the region for the next 5 days. Flight operations in the national capital have been impacted, with some diversions reported due to inclement weather conditions. Directorate General of Civil Aviation has reviewed operations of Air India and Air India Express in a high-level meeting held in New Delhi today. The DGCA raised concerns regarding recent maintenance-related issues reported by the Air India. The airline was advised to strengthen internal coordination across engineering, operations, ground handling units and ensure availability of adequate spares to mitigate passenger delays resulting from such issues and strictly adhere to regulations. In Gujarat, nearly 163 DNA samples of the deceased of the recent Ahmedabad plane crash have been successfully identified so far, and 124 mortal remains were handed over to the family members. Medical Superintendent of Ahmedabad Civil Hospital, Dr. Rakesh Joshi, told media that 24 mortal remains will be handed over tomorrow morning. India has undergone a decade of remarkable transformation driven by the principles of Seva, Sushasan and Garib Kalyan. Akashvani News brings you a special feature on the government's efforts over the last 11 years across key sectors. Today we focus on affordable healthcare for all.
Over the last decade, India's healthcare system has undergone a remarkable transformation. Flagship initiatives like Ayushman Bharat have provided financial protection to nearly 55 crore people. While under the Ayushman Vandana scheme, the health assurance benefits have been extended to all senior citizens aged 70 and above. The Ayushman Bharat digital mission has modernized healthcare delivery, with over 78 crore Ayushman Bharat health accounts created, enabling seamless access to personal health records. The establishment and expansion of AIIMS across multiple states, including the first ever AIIMS in the Northeast, reflects the government's strong commitment to decentralized and equitable medical education and tertiary care. India also took early and bold steps during the COVID-19 pandemic, from airport screenings before the case to early mask advisories, the formation of a vaccine task force, and a prompt nationwide lockdown. Guided by the vision of health for all, the government has made unprecedented strides in expanding access, improving quality, and ensuring affordability. With Vishnu, Bhanu Pratap Singh, Akashvani News, Delhi.
India is marching towards eliminating tuberculosis, and the incidence rate of TB in the country has declined exponentially as compared to the world. In an exclusive interview with Akashvani News, Union Minister of State for Health Anupriya Patel informed that the TB mortality in the country has gone down rapidly.
हमारे यहाँ आज बड़ी तेजी से टीबी की मोर्टेलिटीज जो हैं वो घटी हैं और टीबी इंसिडेंस रेट 17.7% तक घटा है. तो ये सब इसलिए संभव हो रहा है क्योंकि हमारे कंसिस्टेंट प्रयास चल रहे हैं. अभी हमने 7 दिसंबर 2024 से 10 मार्च तक लगातार 100 दिन का इंटेंसिफाइड कैंपेन चलाया था.
The full interview will be broadcast on 100.1 Akashvani FM Gold channel and the entire network of Akashvani at 9:30 p.m. today as a part of the special series Viksit Bharat Ka Amrit Kaal, Seva, Sushasan और Garib Kalyan के 11 साल. The Jammu and Kashmir government today declared all routes to the Amarnath cave shrine as no flying zone during the Yatra period. According to an order issued by J&K Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha, flying of any kind of aviation platforms and devices, including UAVs, drones and balloons, has been prohibited from 1st of next month to the 10th of August this year on Amarnath Yatra routes, including both Pahalgam axis and Balthal axis. In the ICC Women's ODI batting rankings, India's Smriti Mandhana has regained the number one position for the first time since November 2019. The 28-year-old rose to the top with 727 rating points, overtaking South Africa's Laura Woolward, who dropped to joint second with the England's Nat Sciver-Brunt. In the FIH Hockey Pro League, the match between the Indian women's team and Argentina is underway at the Lee Valley Hockey and Tennis Centre in London. Both teams are currently tied at 3-3. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to participate in G7 summit at Kananaskis in Canada tonight to discuss energy security, technology and global challenges. G7 leaders reiterate their commitment to peace and stability in West Asia, insist Iran must not get nuclear weapon. Israeli military claims of eliminating Iran's wartime chief of staff, Ali Shadmani. Iran also launches a new wave of missiles on Israel. IMD forecasts heavy rainfall with thunderstorm over West Bengal, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Assam and Meghalaya for next 3 to 4 days. And Indian cricketer Smriti Mandhana reclaims top spot in ICC Women's ODI batting rankings. That is all in the news at 9. Good night.